Okay, so I feel depressed right now as I'm making this video. And I figured I'd talk about what my depression looks like. I'm sure many people can relate. I work a full-time job. In the past, I had to quit jobs or I could never really stay in one place because I felt like, I don't know, man, it just felt very difficult to maintain. And then things would annoy me, and I used to believe that the external world was the problem. And sometimes it is. But a lot of the time, it has nothing to do with the external world, how you're feeling as a depressed person. You can go to the most beautiful place in the world, but your mind can still be a living hell, and that follows you around. But I have what's referred to, I guess, as high-functioning depression. And many people have this. You'll see a lot of them. They'll be your work colleagues, and suddenly they'll be off, maybe, signed off. And if someone's off for a long time, it's often a mental issue. Like, I had no idea that anything was wrong with that person mentally. Because with high-functioning depression, most of the time, people maintain a mask. They don't feel good at all. But if you ask them, how are you doing today? I mean, depending on the day, they might slip up and the mask might reveal itself. I'd be like, yeah, fucking great. Because it's difficult. It's the most difficult thing about high-functioning depression. It's so persistent and chronic that it makes no sense. You've got no reason a lot of the time to be depressed. You just feel shit all the time. So you don't want to be a burden to people and answer that question honestly and be like, yeah, I don't feel good. I feel fucking shit, mate. But it's hard to lie to yourself, to lie to other people. And it takes a lot of energy, which you do not have as a depressed person, to just not break down. But high-functioning people are very good at maintaining the mask, and, every now and then they might slip, they might break down and consider killing themselves. But a lot of the time you just feel numb, you don't feel anything, and you're grateful if something upsets you and makes you cry. Because most of the time, you just feel like you died a long time ago with this depression, man. Yeah, I've been feeling really flat all day. Partly I'm anxious because I'm seeing my dad tomorrow at his house. And I've not been to his house. I've not been to my dad. I mean, he moved last year. But I've not been to his house in general since I've been with Ellen. Like, over 6 years. So it feels like it's going to be, like, awkward. I don't know how to carry a conversation with people, like, because of quarantine, we'll just be sat outside talking, and I might be okay. I might feel better than I do right now. It's the unpredictability of this, because some days I'll be okay, I'll have a laugh. I'm not wearing the mask. I'm acting how I actually feel, and my personality exists. I have a personality. I have something to offer the world, but probably more often than not, definitely more often than not, it all falls away again. And I try and hold on to it. When the happiness or the contentment comes, I'm like, please just stay. But it never does for more than a couple of days. And it makes no sense. I just wake up in the morning one day like I don't want to exist. I have no energy, no motivation. And then that odd day or two where I feel good, maybe even great, I want to go outside for a walk. I want to talk to people. I want to achieve things. I want to make the world a better place. And then I set goals, and I can never fucking keep to them. Because the energy, the motivation just goes. Anyway, I was on Reddit. I realised I'm really not alone. I know a lot of people say that, but you can't help but to feel no one knows how I'm feeling. No one knows what this is like. My depression is different to other people's. No one feels this bad for this long for no fucking reason. So I've highlighted a few posts that spoke to me. They don't necessarily help. It was just like, oh shit, I'm not alone. And I realised that by searching on like the most popular posts, and this is just Reddit dash depression, looking at the most popular ones, it's like, okay, so a lot of people feel this way. This one says, I feel like I'm getting stupider, less talented, clumsier, and that soon I will be completely retarded. That resonated because that's how I feel most of the time. I used to write music. I can't do it anymore. I just fucking can't. It's so frustrating. I used to be creative in many ways that I'm not anymore. And I can really try and force it, but it just doesn't work. And it used to flow naturally. And I still had depression then. Like, a lot of my music used to be based on how I was feeling, but it was a way of getting that out. But now I can't do it. Fuck, it's depressing. And yeah, the stupid thing, like, making stupid mistakes. Like, I'm pretty full on as a grammar police person. If I see someone use the wrong spelling of there, it annoys me and I have to correct them. And then I realize I've done it myself and everything feels so difficult. And the worst thing I've ever maybe had to do as a depressed person is go to job interviews and have to sell myself while being severely depressed and wanting to die. Why do you want this job? Oh god, how am I gonna fake that I give a shit right now? Oh man, I've definitely not got the job because of depression at times. And I don't like using it as an excuse. Like, oh, I'll just blame every failure of my life on this, but it's hard not to. The next one I saw... Oh, hang on a sec. Anybody feel like you died long ago and you're just a zombified shell? So I pretty much touched on that already, but that feeling of however long it's been for you that you've been chronically depressed, just remembering there used to be a part of you that existed that was just in the world, partaking, not thinking about everything, having a good time. Generally, you had friends, you had a good routine, you had hobbies and interests that you just really loved. And while you might feel that way sometimes, it's probably rare. And again, it comes down to that numb feeling, that zombie like that. That's how you feel inside, just fucking dead. What was the next one? Is anyone else hating the fact that they're wasting time in their life as you're witnessing... Hang on, what? This isn't worded the best way. As you're witnessing it all go in the drain because of their... It's like fluctuating between your and their. Basically he's saying, does anyone else feel like they're wasting their life? Because depression just throws time away because you spend so much time. It's like being ill, you know? For regular people that don't get depression or have mental illness, and I hate that term, but it's fucking true. When you get the flu for 2 weeks, that's 2 weeks wasted, man. You'll never get that back, and that's similar with this. You can look back, I'm 30 now, I've said recently, but that's old. That's a lot of years gone because of depression. A lot of days that I'll never remember because I just felt nothing. And then the extra text in this post said, it's so stressful. There's so many things I want to do, but I just can't at the moment and it sucks. Theoretically, I could be physically paralyzed for months and it would just be the same as if I wasn't paralyzed and living my regular depressed life. Yeah, so they're saying they could be fucking in a wheelchair, unable to move like Stephen Hawking, and their life would not really be that much different because this can paralyze you. You can just stare at the ceiling for hours with some depressing, like, this music that just makes you dwell in it even more because it's the only thing that resonates with you. Like, you can't listen to some pop top 10 charts bullshit that isn't based on anything. It's just, oh, this is popular because most people are fucking normal and don't need deep lyrics to enjoy the song. And you're like, oh, fuck that, I did it. It's just nothing for me. And then you listen to some sad, depressing, like, acoustic song. Do you ever get so empty that you're excited when you finally start crying because at least you're feeling an emotion? I've already touched on that, but again, I was like, oh shit. 2,500 people have given that like a like because they feel that. I'm like, I thought that was just me at times. Like, I thought I'm just broken. And maybe I am, but these other people are broken too. What a happy thought. Anyone else get super motivated at night to get your life together, then when it's daytime, that motivation is gone? Yeah, most days I feel awful. And then it gets to the evening when it's quiet, and I just want to stay up the whole night. And it's not necessarily I want to do anything productive. I just feel okay enough that I can enjoy regular stuff like playing a video game or reading a book, and I don't want to put it away because I know no matter how early I go to bed, in the morning I will feel shit and I will have to deal with my reality again. And normally that means working, most of the time, and the usual routine. And it's just like, oh, I just want to put that off as long as possible. But obviously you can fall into that pattern, go to bed at 1 a.m. every night, and you're not getting enough sleep, you feel even worse. I think that was the last one that I favorited. I have got this book that probably won't do anything. I didn't buy this recently. I've had it a couple of years. It's been on my shelf. It's called Fuck It, The Ultimate Spiritual Way. You don't need to buy the book. It's pretty obvious what the message is. You could probably guess. It's basically, we care too much. Many of us who are depressed care too much, and sometimes there is no control you have over your life. There is nothing you can do about the bad things that are happening to you. Even stuff that you feel everyone should be changing, saving the planet, helping the vulnerable and abused, and doing more. Sometimes you have to even say fuck it to that stuff because you don't have what it takes to deal with those problems right now. You don't need the burdens of the rest of the world on your shoulders when you're depressed. So sometimes you just gotta be like, oh, fuck it. And fuck everything that I've been trying to work towards. Fuck the diet. Fuck calorie counting. Fuck any goals I had, because right now I can't do it. And there's somewhat a natural balance with that. If you're heavily focused on dieting and you get obsessed, and I did for a little while, putting all your meals into a calorie counter and be like, oh, I've got 200 calories left today because I'm trying to lose weight. But it gets hard. It gets boring having to do that. And if you don't do that, it doesn't mean you're going to fall off the wagon. It means some days you're going to be like, I fucked up. I ate like shit. I didn't do any exercise for the past week because it's been raining. And then naturally, you might find yourself waking up and be like, I want to be more active today. I feel like I want to eat super healthy. I just want to. Hopefully someone else can relate to this video. I don't think it will help necessarily, but at least I'm talking about it. The worst thing you can do with this is to keep it to yourself. Despite what I said earlier, I'm not saying you should burden work colleagues or acquaintances who don't give a shit about you and they're just making small talk. But yeah, you can't keep it all in, man. And I know a lot of people just kind of give up on you, and many people don't understand depression and think you're doing it for attention, or that you're just a mopey, lazy prick. And you have to let go of that stuff. Fuck it again. If someone's gonna walk out on me, maybe people I used to be really close friends with years ago, they don't give a shit about me now. I don't really give a shit about them anymore because we haven't spoken in 10 years, so why would I? You could get sad about it, all the stuff you've lost because of your depression, your anxiety, but you gotta accept it, man. There's no real cure for this. You just gotta enjoy the good days and try not to be pulled too far down when you're having a bad day. Detach yourself a bit, which ultimately will leave you a bit numb and emotionless. Maybe that's the best we can hope for sometimes. But anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye.